This edition of Tru Heel Heat is sponsored to you by Wrestling Travel. Wrestling Travel is an organization that brings wrestling fans from all over the world together to go to your biggest events like Wrestlemania, Wrestle Kingdom, and Bound for Glory. To learn more, go to WrestlingTravel.org and also subscribe to the Wrestling Travel YouTube channel and learn all about Wrestling Travel and check out Lockdown Sessions with Justin Clapper. Hello. It is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SP3. We are back once again with Tru Heel Heat 95. 5 more episodes before our 100th episode.
Yeah.
On this, yes. On this edition, we will be discussing the latest wrestling news, including all of the fallout from NXT TakeOver 31. This week in the G1 Climax 30, WWE possibly running full capacity shows in Florida sooner rather than later.
Wow.
The latest on WWE's third-party bans, week 49 of the Wednesday Night War between NXT and AEW, and give you our personal picks for the top 3 moments of AEW Dynamite's first year. I am back once again with the princess of all the true heels, Miss Krssi Love.
Hello, as I rep Jericho for 30 years, you know.
Gotta rep it. Very, very appropriate for this episode. And we're gonna have our resident Tru Heel alcoholic drunk top guy JJ join us very shortly. But first, we have to introduce a very, very special guest right here. This gentleman joined us for one of our best episodes, I would say.
I think so too.
Of 2020 for sure, when we broke down the top 10 matches in SummerSlam history. He is Talk Sports U.S. editor and co-host of Talk Wrestling every Monday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Talk Sports 2. He is the face of wrestling journalism in the UK. I put him on my Mount Rushmore of wrestling media. This man is very talented. He is the interview extraordinaire, Mr. Alex McCarthy.
Woo! Burn.
Man, I was on one of the best episodes of 95. I'm like, wow, that is a big shout. Thanks for having me again, guys. I could not miss it.
We are glad to welcome you back, sir. For anyone who's listening or watching that wasn't with us on the last episode, you joined us. Please introduce yourself. Tell them a little bit about what you do, sir.
Man, it's hard after the introduction you gave me, man. You laid it all on the table. As Sid says, man, or SB3, my bad. Can't break that 4-4 right there. So obviously I'm the US editor for TalkSport here in the UK, and I'm a radio presenter of the only wrestling show on national radio here in the UK.
Wow.
Man, I've been putting in the work for a while now, like in terms of interviews and getting out there and covering wrestling shows and things of that nature. So I actually checked it not long ago. My first interview was with The Big Show, and that was 4 years ago.
Wow.
I had the anniversary a couple of weeks ago now. So 4 years I've been in the game, trying to build up this thing, man. And it's going great. And I'd love to drop some news. I know SP3, you know what the news is, brother. But
nah, please.
No, I can't. Not till Monday. But but this is actually going to be one of like my final podcast appearances for the foreseeable future, man, because we're going to be locked in with this new thing. I'm being super vague, but this new thing. And man, I can't wait to. I'm sure you'll talk about it next week because it's kind of some news for SP3 too, which the numerals there didn't add up. It's kind of news for SP3 as well. But yeah, man, it's all good. So thank you very much again for having me on.
Yes,
thank you for making this your last podcast.
Yes,
I was going to stop by anywhere, Krssi. Where was I going to go?
I appreciate it. Yes, he gave a little teaser. We'll have some news on Tru Heel Heat 96 for sure. But this edition of Tru Heel Heat is brought to you by our friends at Wrestling Travel. All our good brothers over there, including Justin Clapper and Danny. Check out their podcast. everything they're due. 2021, they're going to be back with a bang and bringing you to live events, which we will talk about on this episode. And we are also proud to announce that we will be the sponsor for Mission Pro Wrestling's Tournament Out of Hell coming up on November 6th in Rudu, Texas. This is the promotion brought to you by the NWA World's Women's Champion Thunder Rosa. So we will have more information on this big event as well as more interviews with talent that's going to be a part of that show. So very proud to announce that.
Man, that's big news. You know, Wrestling Trouble are good people as well, by the way.
They are.
They've helped me a lot down the years too, man. Wrestling Travel, very good people. Thunder Rosa as well. She followed me on Twitter the other day, man. I was like, ah! You know, like sometimes you get followed by people and it's cool, but I was like, oh, for some reason I was like, damn, it's Thunder Rosa, man. So shout out to her, man. That's going to be a good event.
Absolutely. I am very excited to what we're going to do with Mission Pro Wrestling. They're doing great things, especially for women's professional wrestling, and you love to see it. We're going to start off everything by telling you guys, everyone watching us on the YouTube machine, give us a thumbs up, share this video with all your wrestling fans. We're going to talk a whole bunch about what's going on in professional wrestling, and of course the iCard down at the bottom to subscribe, the bell below that to stay notified for all the great content right here on Tru Heel Heat. And speaking of you, the viewers, our subscribers, we got to shout you out, starting off with our Tru Heel roll call. This is where we shout out everyone who's supporting us on social media and on YouTube here, and as well as our podcast pages on our Tru Heels group page on Facebook. Our Tru Heel Trinity, our top 3 conversation starters. Coming in at number 3 is Charles Kirkhoff. Number 2, the New Japan aficionado himself, James Wims. And coming in at number 1, it's 83 weeks straight, Negro Buck, Nick Jackson.
Woo! Are you gonna do like 106 in Park and like TRL, where you're gonna like have to like retire him and like put him in like the Hall of Fame and
maybe you can be our free. You could be the free of this episode. So, right there for
right.
Tru Heels
that our age, friend.
Yes, showing my age. Our Tru Heels that we got to shout out: Jermaine Packman, Joe Grady, Justin Hollis, AEW fanatic on Twitter machine, Brandon Kahn. And speaking of people you're surprised started following us, we got AEW music creator Mikey Ruckus followed us on Twitter this week. So happy to hear that. And Mikey, I hope you watch this podcast right here, so you can hear us shouting you out, sir.
And make sure you'll hit a theme, man. Come on, theme.
Thank you. See, this is why we have Alex Hood. He comes up with the best ideas. So the subscriber highlight, we got a couple of your comments. The comments king on our YouTube channel, Kayfabe Tactus, he says, yeah, these young lion matches have been great. Yoda the medium is going to be a big player in the future. I agree with you about the Evil versus Kenta match. I really like that ZSJ beat Goto so quickly. And he also says, for J News, this is for the G1 Climax Night 7 and 8 review. I hope Sonata wins the G1, but loses the briefcase in his last defense before the Wrestle Kingdom, just to see your reactions. Because we all know J News is a huge Sonata fan, and he called Sonata to win the G1 this year. Jobber JJ, Ali's number 1 fan over on, he's one of our subscribers that came over from Wrestle Talk. He says Night 5 was incredible. Will Ospreay is just incredible. Cobb versus Suzuki was short, but I want more. Night 6 was fine. B Block isn't that exciting except for a handful of matches, and love ZSJ versus Kenta. And he said that on our G1 Climax Nights 5 and 6 review. Kwame Shafir commented on Tru Heel Heat 94. Raw is like Groundhog Day, where it's the same damn thing every week. SmackDown is now the show that feeling different every week now compared to the past 6 months, where we saw dog food chucked at each other to an embarrassing karaoke contest. At least SmackDown does have decent stuff going on, like the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns. And yes,
I gotta wear my show up.
Oh, you got one. Nice.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Absolutely. I'm giving you merch money, Roman, but remember me. And then finally, Paul Robertson said WWE NXT was a good show. 10 out of 10 show on our NXT TakeOver 31 roundtable. So that brings us to what we missed. And what we missed, of course, was NXT TakeOver 31. In my opinion, just my opinion, you guys can agree with me or not, one of the best WWE shows of the year, highlighted by a WWE Match of the Year candidate with Finn Balor defeating
Yes.
Ali. Finn Balor came out of this matchup not unscathed. Jaw was cracking in 2 different places.
Ooh.
But
you seen him when he caught his face, when he touched his mouth. You seen it. He was like, oh, something ain't right.
Yeah. Yes, and he was grabbing it the whole rest of the match. And
yeah.
I said I would have gave this match like 5 stars, but he had to cut the match short because he was like, his jaw was really messed up. But I will go to you first, Alex. What was your opinion on this awesome main event?
Oh man, well, first of all, like you said, the card itself from top to bottom, as takeovers so often do, was just delivered in the best way, man. Like I've said this on my own show, the cruiserweight title, I can't remember caring that much about a cruiserweight title match for months. Like that's the most it's felt to me. Like maybe since like Garza Rush, like that was like last year, like early this year. So for them to kind of get me invested like that, I really thought Swerve was going to take it, man. I really did. Like just the way they positioned him and stuff. Obviously Io and Candice, man, they were always going to tear that house down. Io is so good. Mm-hmm. It was just, like I could just do this all day. Like every match had something about it, and for me, man, and they did great when like a show or a pay-per-view, and it builds to that like crescendo, and the main event is it, like that. Yeah. And that is how it should be, right? It should, because I know you get bangers and blah blah blah, and show stealers or whatever, but it's great when you wait for that main event and when you get there and you're hyped for it. Like I was hyped all week long for Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor, because like, as a hardcore fan in your head, you're like, this is just going to be great.
Yeah,
it was great. Like, do you know how fulfilling that is when that happens? Like, it's not like, I don't know, Shinsuke and AJ at 34 or something like that, where your head tells you it's going to be something, but then it's not quite that. These two delivered exactly that, man. Technical. It was fluid. It was like slick and snug, but brutal too, and like rugged. It was everything, man. Like everything that I could have hoped that those two would bring to the table. Like I said, very unfortunate with the way it broke down. In terms of like the finish. And then of course we got Ridge Holland at the finish too with Adam Cole, and now that's even more unfortunate, man. Like what a terrible few days.
In wrestling, yep.
Exactly, man. Like, but most importantly, NXT. It seems like NXT just has like this black cloud over it right now.
No, man. I put a tweet out today. You look at just the last 7 weeks; they've had 4 major to proper players. Like that, like any promotion. You chalk it up with AEW main roster. Any brand promotion would struggle losing 4 big players like that.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. I mean, luckily for Finn Balor, it says that they said that he's only going to be out for about 2 to 3 weeks, so we don't have another Karrion Kross situation. So I'm thankful for that at least. Also on the show, like Alex said, we also had Io Shirai defeating Candice LeRae to successfully defend the NXT Women's Championship. Then Toni Storm, one of my favorites, Toni Storm returned to NXT, and then we finally got the answer to all those mysterious vignettes about a former champion returning to NXT.
I got it right!
Yes, you did.
I got it right!
Krssi Love called it herself. Ember Moon returns to NXT. Miss Krssi, what did you think about Io versus Candice, and then the 2 returns to kind of put a shot of adrenaline or steroids to an already stacked women's division on NXT?
First, let's just say TakeOver takes it home. Pulled it in for a win. Great, like they not only had a good the good match with Roman and Jay, then they now have this pay-per-view, because I thought TakeOver was just too soon. But I'll chuck it up and say, I'm sorry, because it was Fantastic! Oh my God, did I mark out when I seen Ember? And I was like, I finally got that right. And I didn't even hit no one up in the chat because I was busy. Anywho, but I was so happy. My God, Kyle O'Reilly and Finn Balor. I mean, God, like when he got hit in the jaw and you seen him grab his face, I had to actually I didn't even want to finish the match. I had to go back to see it again because I wanted to see what I saw to make sure to see what I saw because I was like, wait, did he just get like really hit hard in the face? Like, and I thought it was just like the side, but it was actually his jaw and the bottom of his face. And I was like, damn, like it was like, Dad, just when you think we just lost 3 players, now we got 4 players that's out. Like you said, we just benching everyone. We gotta get a bubble and put everyone in the bubble and just like keep them here. Like just sit here, don't move, just stay right here. But happy to see the girls back. They delivered. Like EO, come on, like she's not gonna disappoint. Now she's gonna do this next. I'm just excited to see what they're gonna deliver for the next one. TakeOver was great. I was very, very pleased with TakeOver. This TakeOver, like you said, this one was TakeOver for 2020.
Yeah, I would say this or Portland. Portland had the advantage of having fans there. That's the only reason. Right. But I would say the Capitol Wrestling Arena was beautiful. Like it felt even better than the Thunderdome.
I like it. The vibe perfectly suits NXT.
I like it. I keep it there. And didn't they film NXT there too? I believe.
Yeah.
Keep it there. Keep it there.
From now on, I think they're moving away from Full Sail for now. The question I want to ask you before I move on to the other matches on this card is, what return did you like better, Toni Storm or Ember Moon? I'll start with you, Alex.
Yeah, Ember. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, that's no slight on Toni, right? But like, Ember coming from maybe not even coming back, like that serious an injury with the Achilles. Also, like, I've always been like a huge Ember fan. Like her in-ring work is so good, almost underappreciated, I think, in many ways. And then she didn't really get the rub she should have got on the main roster. She didn't, right? So I'm happy to kind of see her come back. That suits her, man. Triple H is gonna treat her the way she should be treated. And for me, thinking about Ember Moon, Toni Storm, Io Shirai, like any combination of those. That's like 3 pay-per-views set. Just do it. Just book it. It's fine.
Exactly. And we still haven't got Io versus Rhea Ripley. Like, they kind of saved that in their chamber, and now we got 2 more ladies.
Exactly.
Like, it's just
Rhea and Raquel. Like, that's there too. Like, there's so much going on there, man. And don't get me wrong. Like, Toni Storm has like the potential to be like the face of women in wrestling. Full stop. She could be like the top player, in my opinion, like John Cena of women in wrestling, whatever you want to call it, right? In my opinion, Toni Storm can be that. She's like, I think she's 24, which is obscene. Like, that she's done so much in her career already. So she's got that potential, man. But for me, for the feels, it was Ember.
Absolutely. I want to say that I was more excited to see Toni Storm. For sure, that's just my opinion. You guys, if you're watching Tru Heel Heat for a while, I'm kind of hit or miss with Ember Moon. I like her in the ring, but her promo work against Asuka when we first started doing Tru Heel Heat, that's where she kind of lost me. But I'm glad to see her back, like you said, Alex. For someone to go through such a injury that they thought it was like career ending, it's quite an accomplishment that she's back, and she had a little bit of rust on NXT, but she's gonna get over that. And Ember versus Io Shirai is going to be a banger for sure.
Sorry, go on, Krssi.
No, I was gonna say, it's giving me goosebumps even y'all talk about all of those matches, to be honest. Like, I don't think either one will disappoint. I think they're all gonna be great. And I was happy to see both of them, but of course I was happy to see Ember. And I was also happy that she was not on the main roster, that she came back to NXT, where she should have stayed. But whatever. It is what it is. I don't work there. They don't pay me the bucks, so I just do Tru Heel Heat. So, but other than that, I'm ecstatic, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen with these big ladies, man.
I think it'll be interesting to see what you think, SP3, like, as Ember moves along, like doing her promo work back in NXT. because I think there's a lot of ill fits on the main roster with scripts and stuff, right? So
Yes.
it would be very interesting to see like what direction her character goes in from here, because it's kind of like a new jump off, and just see what she can do, man. Because like you said, there ain't nothing no one can say about her in the ring.
Yep.
Absolutely, I totally agree with you there. And she has
her mouthpiece. Just
she has
have
one of
someone
the
talk to
best finishers in the game. Period.
She does.
Eclipse.
The
So-
Eclipse is hot.
TakeOver 31 also had Santos Escobar defeating Isaiah Swerve Scott in a high octane cruiserweight title match. Like Alex said, we had Kushida looking dominant against Velveteen Dream, and Damian Priest defeated Johnny Gargano in a very hot opener. And that was like the first match that I was just like, okay, this Capitol Wrestling Center is an upgrade. This is an upgrade. This feels like a hot TakeOver opener, and then the whole rest of the card just delivered. Anyone else you guys want to highlight before we move on from TakeOver 31?
No, man.
I mean, I'll make it short, but like for me, I thought this was maybe Gargano's best outing as a heel versus a big baby face, because I felt like against Keith Lee it didn't quite click. Like, and it's always hard to believe the little heel will dominate and work over the big baby. Do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
So that for me works though. Like Damian Priest is just a fantastic worker. I thought Velveteen Dream was getting written off. I mean, I'm not going to get into this too much, like, but I don't.
Nope, he's coming back.
Yeah, I don't feel the same way about the guy. Like, I think a year ago, I was saying he could be like the next breakout mainstream star. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, he's got all of the intangibles, and now it's just kind of like, man, you need to go away. Like, it's just not the same. So it was the right decision though, and I like this kind of injection for Kushida. So let's see what happens, man.
I mean, the two things that I will say about that match in particular is I've been begging for them to do more with Kushida. I think that it's a travesty that it took 18 months for his first TakeOver matchup. This guy was a star in New Japan. He should have been a star immediately coming over from NXT. He should have been their new Nakamura, in my opinion, because this guy is so talented. And with Velveteen Dream, taking even away everything that happened off camera, ever since his return, he just hasn't been the same. He just hasn't delivered what he was delivering prior to his injury. I don't know if it has to do with the off-the-screen things, but he's just not the same performer to me. So I agree with you. I wish he would have got called off. But we will talk about what happened on NXT this week shortly. So yes, before we move on to this week in the G1 Climax 30 of what we missed, we gotta bring in our resident Tru Heel alcoholic himself, Mr. Top Guy JJ. What's going on?
Fresh from punching the clock, gotta make that coin, gotta make that coin before entertaining you heels or wannabe heels, What's up, Alex? What's up, brother?
I'm good, man. You?
What the hell, man? Like, it's a pleasure to finally talk to you. I watched y'all kill it on the last episode of Tru Heel Heat that I wasn't on, but it's a pleasure to actually do the show with you.
I'm slightly upset you came to my neck of the woods and you didn't even knock me out. You didn't come see me, man.
You understand how big the UK is? Like, it would have taken me a couple of days to find your ass. Huh?
We're not even as big as Texas. You could
listen, man.
Exactly.
And not for nothing. I was trying to make babies, man.
Well, okay. Well, you got him there.
Yeah.
Right?
You can't help me with that, Alex.
That's the real heat. Oh,
See, Alex was on when we had our co-host of Joints and Jabronis, and now you meet our resident alcoholic. You see how this works.
Oh, and right out the freezer, right? You see the frost right out the freezer.
Gotta love it.
What a stable you've assembled, SP.
Love it.
Try my best. I try my best.
You hear that cork pop every single time. It's such a beautiful sight.
Absolutely. So we gotta move on to G1 Climax 30. We had nights 9 through 12 this past week. Night 9.
How many days is this thing?
19. I told you this last time. I told you this. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
I see it. It's so much. I don't know how you do it. I really don't. I don't.
I think Alex told me one time before on Wrestling Travelers podcast. He doesn't think I sleep because I have the twins. Way too much wrestling.
You can see everything, man. Like, I can barely watch all the WWE. I don't know what are you doing?
That's what I'm saying. He said before he did the podcast, he was like, I had a nap. I was like, you had a nap? No. Really?
Yeah, that's probably all he gets is naps. He don't get to sleep.
Not during the night.
He gets naps.
But I'm usually up for Japanese evening time to watch these G1 Climax shows. Night 9 highlighted by Cobb with an upset victory over Switchblade. We had Ishii defeat Taishi in a hard-hitting affair, and Ibushi defeats Ospreay in a fast-paced main event. Night 10, we saw Tanahashi defeat Kenta in a great main event. Yoshihashi proves himself as the most improved performer in a loss to Naito. One of the best shows of the entire tournament was night 11 as Will Ospreay defeated Suzuki in a thrilling contest. If I can tell you guys, if you want to see one match that's going to blow your mind, it's Suzuki going move for move at 52 years old with Will Ospreay and
wait. He's how old?
52 years old.
What?
And he pulled out a tilt-a world.
No way.
Hold during this matchup. It was amazing.
Wow.
Jay White defeated Taishi in a very fun heel versus heel battle. We had Shingo defeat Ibushi in one of the best matches of the tournament. Night 12, it was right this morning before we recorded this, and that was Naito defeating Juice in a star-making performance for Robinson, and Kenta defeating Tanahashi in a compelling closer. Krssi Love, I go to you because you are popping your G1 cherry. Yes, pun intended.
Hey, I like where this is going.
What did you think of this week in the G1? What match stood out to you the most?
Was it Ospreay and who beat Ospreay?
Who beat Ospreay? Ibushi. Ospreay and Ibushi.
That one was. I thought Ospreay would have won, but you know. Can I just say that Juice looks like he should be he should be on the Jersey Shore, especially with Paulie D and all of them. I swear he needs to be like one of their friends. Because I'm like, wait, he looks like he needs to be in Jersey with his hair. He's wet and juicy, like icky, like oily, but he can wrestle his ass off. And might I say, he was great.
I agree with you. I really enjoyed his matchup with Naito. It was a star-making performance. If he's not already a star, he is definitely showing out in this one.
But
Alex,
would you say he's juicy?
I think we all three of us made a face like, oh, okay.
I mean, sure.
Juicy. We're gonna call him Juicy Juice from now on.
Oh God! Every time you say the name Juicy, I'm thinking of Sons of Anarchy. You know, like
it didn't end up good for Juice either, man.
Juicy got done dirty there.
No. Juice Robinson is the new Juicy J. He's taking over. He's taking over the scene.
Oh,
Yeah.
We also missed SmackDown with Roman Reigns challenging his cousin Jey Uso to Hell in a Cell with the highest stakes ever in a WWE match, while Jey beat AJ Styles in the opener on that show. I will go to you, Alex. You just interviewed the number one contender for the Universal Championship, Jey Uso. So
nice.
what do you think is the highest stakes in a WWE matchup that this match is going to take place in?
I don't know. It's gonna have some family connotations, isn't it? Like it's gonna have some sort of like, I don't know. Maybe him and his brother aren't allowed, but I don't know, on the same brand or back in WWE. I think it's gonna be something like that. Because what can Roman put on the line more than the title, and what can Jey bring to the table? Do you know what I mean? To risk from his perspective. So it'll be something like that. Like he has to bow down to him and be banished or something. I don't know, man. But Jey Uso is like such a nice guy to talk to. He was just like he's full of like energy and enthusiasm constantly for anything. Like just a nice guy. I spoke to Kyle O'Reilly last week as well, so it's like a number one contenders week, I guess.
Nice.
Man, Alex is on fire over here.
Right?
I don't know, man. Everyone
Shit, it sounds like you ain't have no time for my ass anyway. You over here interviewing championship contenders.
I don't know. JJ's making babies, and I don't know, man. It's hard.
Anyone who talks to Alex gets a shot at a world title, apparently.
But they lose.
Hey, it's a start. It's a start. Listen, you get them there. They just need to finish the job.
That's
Hey,
right.
Jay's got another opportunity.
Was that the Chronicles with Jay Uso?
It was So I spoke to Jay literally the day before that came out, and it was cool. Like he was just saying, like, obviously behind the scenes, like Roman is obviously like pulling a lot of his own strings at this point. Like I think Heyman is doing like the bulk of the writing, but like a lot of it is coming from the brain of Roman, which is cool. Like, isn't it funny how after all this time, and all of us have sat here banging our heads for years, going, "What? How are they getting his character so wrong? Like, how is he so dislikable?" And then now, for the first time, maybe in this whole WWE run, he's actually got some control, and everyone's going crazy for Roman.
Yes,
so hopefully it opens some eyes to it. Like maybe the WWE way isn't always the way.
we've been saying that for a long time, friend.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Might be true there. Yes.
Well, not for everyone. Let's just say that.
Fuck! We've been fans the wrong way forever. Like, we haven't been saying that shit for the past 20 years.
Hey, we might be right sometimes. We might be right.
Just a little bit.
We also saw Sasha challenge Bayley for the title this week on the WWE Draft edition of SmackDown. We saw The Fiend attack KO at the behest of Alexa Bliss, and Sami Zayn outsmart Jeff Hardy to defend the Intercontinental title. Over on Raw, it was very newsworthy as Mustafa Ali is revealed as the leader of Retribution, attacking the Hurt Business. I will go over to you, Top Guy JJ. You always have an opinion on Retribution. What do you think about the reveal of Mustafa Ali as the leader?
No. God damn it. Go ahead, friend.
I actually liked it.
What?
I actually liked it. And reason being is that when I think they're learning. I think they're actually trying to adapt what story booking is. Because when this initially happened, when the man in the computer room with the signals and the light bulbs, everybody started pointing that it was Mustafa Ali, and then they just drifted all the way away from it. The shit disappeared, and now it's like it culminates, and it actually now they have a real voice. They have a real leader. They have somebody that has been shitted on, that has been jerked out of title opportunities, somebody that has been getting the short end of the stick from the WWE for God knows how long. I think this is the perfect person for this. And I am willing to give this a shot. I am willing to give this a shot because Mustafa Ali, from the vignettes that we saw, from the promos that he cut, he is damn good with his words. I am willing to give him a shot to see how he delivers when it comes to why he decided to put this band of misfits together.
And they've been, once again, I say last week, they've been doing the work on Twitter. If they just give them a little bit of an opportunity to bring their Twitter game to the main screen, this would be just a notch better. Miss Krssi Love, I see your face. I saw your reaction. What did you think of Mustafa Ali being the leader?
I gave JJ the people's eyebrow, and I'm like, I don't know. Anywho, I'm not buying it. So you mean to tell me Mustafa Ali got slap nugs and reject this one, number 2 in here, and reject number 3 stand over here, and me and Yim all to say, fuck this, we want, and we got contracts, and now we're gonna stand here with Bane masks?
Who's me and Yim? You mean Reckoning?
Whatever. Again, reject number 5 in the back that's in the front with the lions in the face.
I'm just gonna miss the whole voiceover of T-Bar speaking about the WWE filling their pockets with dirty money. I'm gonna miss that part because I'm gonna miss shitting on it every week because Mustafa Ali is gonna be the voice.
Now, yes, his promo was good. However, I'm not buying it yet. Not buying it. Not for 1 second. I don't get it. You mean to tell me this man got all these misfits? Like I said, reject number 5, 6 through 10. All of them, all now going to stand right here behind him, and he's going to be the one that gives him, say, okay, yeah, go do that.
Boo, I think, but you looking at Retribution. I'm looking at the leader of the gang. I'm giving the leader of the gang,
and it makes sense because Mustafa Ali got screwed. He got screwed out of his WWE title shot. Kofi Kingston was able to go on Kofi Mania, and now he's getting his retribution. It makes sense that he is the leader.
how beautiful would it be if Kofi Kingston, after his sabbatical of being injured, gets drafted to Raw and Mustafa calls that whole story out?
I will buy that then. If that happens, then yes,
give
I'm
it a
board.
chance, Boo Boo. Give it a shot. That's always give it a shot.
Give it a chance. Alex, I know you had quite the opinion.
I will give it a chance, but if not, you're gonna have to eat crow on this one, friend.
I've been eating crow on fucking WWE for the past couple months.
I mean, we all have. I'm still eating crow from thinking Keith Lee was going to do something after beating Randy Orton, but you know.
No, friend. Sorry.
See that one I got right.
He was right on that one. Alex, you had quite the opinion on Retribution last time we had you on. What's your thoughts on WWE making one of the most babyface and likable people on the roster a heel once again? And I know you're a big fan of Mustafa Ali, so what was your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's an upgrade from what the story was, and I know that's not saying much because the story was the shit. Like
not in a good way, in a bad way.
Yeah, the worst way. We're not talking. You know, the names were obviously terrible to begin with, right? That they haven't really explained why they have these new names, but the contract thing still doesn't make sense. Like nobody. No amount of explanations from T-Bar, as great as his Twitter is, will buy that for me. It doesn't make sense. No company in the world would employ someone to do that, right? They wouldn't. So it makes no sense. And it's like in the draft this week, are Fox and USA, are they both going, oh, well, we need Retribution because they're going to fuck up our show? Like, that makes no sense. Like, I don't know. There's a lot wrong with it, right? But I'm just going to kind of take it from here. Right, I'm choosing to almost forget that shit now and just take it from Ali being the leader because I love Ali. I want to see that man do great things because there's great things in him. Yeah. And like you said, even like the photo he put up yesterday, I was like, you know what? If this is the story from here, I can buy that. Like all of them have been wronged in various ways. You know, we saw Dio Madden get done over by Lesnar. No one cared, did they? Like he stood up. No one cared. No one went, oh man, Dio Madden, what a great guy. Nah, he was gone. And then you know, like we could go through this all day. You know, we had Dijak as well on there, and then Mia Yim getting screwed out of the shot, and Mercedes getting tossed to the curb by Rob Stone, and all that. Like, it just all of them have got a reason to be upset, but maybe none more so than that whole WrestleMania run, man. Like that is life-changing stuff.
I mean, I kind of did forget about it, but okay, whatever.
But it's like JJ said, though.
It wasn't my fault. It was Kofi Mania. We was going for the big thing. I mean, I'm sorry.
if WWE are smart, man, and they play on those strengths of, you know, what's drove Ali down this path, it could be good stuff.
Like, you took my shine. You took my spot. That could have been me. Something like that.
That's
Yeah. Okay. And think about the draft that's coming up.
This is probably going to be behind you, friend.
Oh no, that's my boy. He's allowed to take little strolls behind me. That's the black cat, you know. That's my Black Panther. You know
I just seen this thing just like go like this.
That's my Black Panther. He's allowed to make his little strolls. But I'm just gonna jump. I'm calling this is gonna be the worst draft in the entire company's history because this is gonna be the least. Why we even have it? This is gonna be the least shaken up draft. This is gonna have so little implications on the year to come because they have too many tight-knit storylines that they need to finish.
Yes.
Yeah, well, we will see. We will see. We will talk about it on Tru Heel Heat 96 for sure. Also on
the draft.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about the rules as well on this edition. We finally saw on the breakup of Murphy from Seth Rollins as Aaliyah Mysterio made the save for the Disciple. Oh. Yes, the less said about that, the better, I guess. Randy Orton challenged Drew McIntyre to Hell in a Cell as well. We also had Victory Road this past week. Eric Young defeated Eddie Edwards to successfully defend the Impact World title. Deonna Purrazzo took out Susie in front of Kylie Ray, and EC3 continues the mind games with Moose. Impact Wrestling this week had Eric Young once again attack Rich Swann, this time at his rehab. Jordan Grace defeat the X Division champion Rahit Raju to set up a 6-way match with those two, Willie Mack, TJP, Chris Bay, Trey Miguel for Bound for Glory, and the Motor City Machine Guns defeat Ace and Fulton in the main event. So that brings us to our top news, and yes, we have to talk about it. We have to get Alex's opinion on this one because this is like the biggest news of the week in my opinion. WWE is allowed to hold full capacity crowds in Florida, possibly. After the cancellation of WrestleMania 36 this week and no live events since March for WWE during the ongoing global pandemic, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis made a decision on Wednesday to allow the Miami Dolphins to have 65,000 fans at their stadium for upcoming games. He has lifted the fine against people not wearing masks, basically reopening Florida. This decision made by Florida, which has been a hotbed for the virus, at the same time having the most limited restrictions, is a head scratcher for some, I would say probably most. John Alba from Spectrum Sports reported with this decision, WWE could also do the same, bringing WrestleMania 37 to Raymond James Stadium over Los Angeles, as was reported by Gary Cassidy last week. WrestleVotes also reported that Vince McMahon has been holding out hope to run a full capacity WrestleMania, so you know this must be music to his ears. And it should be noted that as we have said before, AEW has been running limited capacity crowds for Dynamite at Daly's Place in Jacksonville, Florida. So this decision may also bring full capacity crowds back to AEW as well. And it should also be mentioned that WWE superstars were of high morale on the move to the Thunderdome and following the return of Roman Reigns. Also, WWE has let talent know that they are planning on traveling again outside of the Thunderdome after their deal ends, and so we shall see what any moves affect the morale. But Alex, we gotta ask you, what are your thoughts on this new order from the Florida governor concerning WWE?
Have fun with this.
Yeah, like, so without knowing the absolute ins and outs, if there are any, from the Florida governor, moving from nothing to full capacity is a move. That's a decision. I can't see how he's calculated that or come to that decision, because like you said, it's not as if Florida have had like no cases for an extended period of time and he's gone, oh right, okay, well here's the next phase. It looks like they've just gone to the next phase. He's like, well, you know, whatever, we're not going to be at the mercy of it forever. Doesn't really make that much sense. But one thing I do know, Vince McMahon, of course, has great ties with the governor in Florida. He does not have them same ties in LA. So if the chances are that he was going to be able to run a full stadium and it was going to be in Florida, you bet your bottom dollar that he was going to take that. So I'm not surprised by that. My boy Gary Cassidy came through with that news last week. Man, it doesn't make sense, and not a lot of it has anyway. In terms of like decision making during this process, and I'm talking about here on my soil and yours. But I mean, Vince McMahon has just been gagging for live crowds ever since. Really, he wanted it for SummerSlam. Like he was desperate. Look how late did they leave the Thunderdome before SummerSlam? It was like
the Friday before.
It was like a week, 10 days. Like, and it was like, oh shit, probably going to get in the Thunderdome. Like. He's been searching for the quickest way to get back to capacity crowds. It looks like this is the way they're going to do it, man.
He should get COVID like his friend Donald Trump.
Well, this is it. I can't see it ending well. I can't. It's going to end in tears. But
look at the White House.
They get back there. If they're saying they can do full capacity now, then presumably, like, the whole loop to WrestleMania is going to be Florida, pretty much, right? Like, so Rumble. All of that stuff, Florida. It doesn't sound great to me.
Hang on, if it's Florida.
It's very interesting to go from basically 0 to 100 real quick. Yes, to quote a great philosopher, but it's gonna be very, very interesting times in WWE for sure. Miss Krssi Love, I know you always have an opinion. What's your thoughts?
McMahon has to be the most richest idiot I've ever known besides Donald Trump. Not only are you trying to have fans, do you not know that there are states that are getting second waves as it is? Like, they're shutting down places. They're shutting down. The whole White House is a freaking bubble of COVID, and you want to bring people together for sports? Like, I want to go back to normal like anyone else. Trust me, I get it. I'm sick of wearing masks. I'm sick of all of this. I hate it with every being of my soul. With my 2 children, I hate everything of it. However, I want to live. I want to be safe. So there is light at the tunnel. We can have fun soon if we all do what we're supposed to do. But unfortunately, we have idiots like this that are deterring us from having this fun and making us progress and keep taking us back 3 or 4 steps backwards. It's like you still have money, you still are making money, like you're still doing what you what are you going to lose? You rather put everyone in jeopardy so that you can put people in the stands? No, it's not cool. It sucks and it's sad that you can't see that this is a real thing and you can catch it and him as a person of a certain age can die from this. Like what is wrong with these people? Like he obviously does not care because again, people got tested for it. People got it. They weren't being safe. No one was wearing masks. No one was social distance. It's like, come on, dude. And then the governor, that's another idiot. Like but we already knew that they were all friends. They're all trying to like. It's all sad. It's really, really freaking sad.
You hit the nail on the head. Then, like they're all friends, man. They're all
friends. They're all friends. I've been saying this since day one that they are all friends. Call your friends. You can get the doctors there. They can give you that. All you got to do is give him a phone call. Like he's been on WrestleMania. He's been on Raw. Like that's his friend. Like he shaved his freaking head for his friend. Just saying.
It's 100% true. JJ, what's your thoughts on WrestleMania possibly being changed from Los Angeles? Are you happy that Tampa may get WrestleMania 37 to make up for missing out on 36, or are you disappointed that it's not going to be in Los Angeles this year?
Absolutely fucking not. Like this is like Vince McMahon has to be the greediest billionaire I've ever seen in my fucking life. Like he's losing a piece of that extra $500-600 million that he has in the bank. So, oh my God. So you know what we got to do? We got to put thousands upon thousands of lives in jeopardy because we want to run the fucking Royal Rumble there. We want to run Payback or whatever you want to call that shit that they have in between WrestleMania. They want to do all of this extra shit and they want to have a 65,000 seated Payback event. Like, and it's like, yo, any chance that he sees green, he is going to tackle it. Like, screw you, LA. LA, you screwed LA, not me. LA screwed LA because y'all ain't letting me fill up that SoFi Stadium. So I'm going to Raymond James. SoFi, you're fired.
Oh my
I'm going to Raymond James, bitch. And it's like, yo, do you even realize that you're gonna potentially kill thousands of people? Because people are gonna clamor at the mouth, as you said, Krssi. People are dying to go to an event, so this shit will sell out. There will be people arm's length of each other. There will be people that is, you know how tight those seats are in them stadiums. Yep. And they're gonna be on each other because they can't wait to get out. They can't fucking wait. And you knew the first person that was gonna do this was gonna be Vince. You knew it was gonna be him. It was just a matter of what city, what place is able to do this, and who wants to make the quickest buck but don't care about people's lives. This shit is a horrible, horrible thing if this shit takes place. Ain't nowhere in hell I'm going. Hey, I can't wait to go to WrestleMania again, but not next year. Not next year.
I can say I did think that Florida did get snooped out of the whole WrestleMania. I did say that because of the whole COVID. However, let's just do it we didn't have to have LA for next year. We could have did if everything went well, we could have still saved it in Florida and go to LA the following year. But no, he doesn't. It's it's Vince. Vince, the show must go on.
You know it. You know it. He's always gonna go on. That's why I was like, yeah. I would ask if WWE is gonna take this, step by step and ease it in. But we all know they're just gonna go full speed ahead.
0 to 100. Like, damn, you didn't even say they could fit 32,000 in there.
Right.
They could do 32,000. They just said, you know what? We're going full capacity. We are getting our full load off. Come to bring 65,000 potential new cases. Like, it's insane.
But they didn't even want to do it like how the first football game was, where they had like some
guys,
people in the stands.
What makes matters worse is that people are going to travel to this.
Yes, they are.
People are going to come from all facts of life. People will come from the UK. People will come from New York. People will come from Chicago. People will go and then bring their contaminated asses to all of these states, including our homes. And it's just like, oh my God, like we just spent the past 7 months trying to heal this shit, and you are just going to start the pandemic cycle all over again.
And I hate to say this, but like, it's clear that he doesn't even think about. So obviously, like, there's so many people that will go there. You may be asymptomatic, right? And it might not even directly affect you, but you can carry it back to people that it will affect and kill, right? This is a man. Owen Hart died in his ring. And that show ain't stopping. This is a man who really doesn't think about anything but the show. Like, his little world is purely wrestling. Which is actually staggering when you think about people have died under his care. And then he's going to do this, man. Like, JJ just said it perfectly. It's not just about who might get sick in the stadium, man. It's going to fly everywhere again. Like, it could be one of the main causes, and we're going to see it. We're probably not even going to get there because they're going to have these Dolphins games and other things in Florida, man. And I'm certain it will kick off before then. I would love to be wrong. I would love there to, for things to die down, but it won't.
We all know that to be true. We gotta wrap up this conversation and move on to our next topic. But Alex, brother, we thank you for joining us on the show this week. I appreciate you. I know you are a busy man with your 101 hats that you wear, being the face of UK wrestling journalism. So please, sir, tell them where they can follow you on social media, everything you're doing with Talk Sports, Inside the Ropes. Let the people know at home.
So AlexM_Talksport is the handle for Twitter and Instagram, but like my Instagram is dead. Like, unless you want to see my kids, and like my story today is roast potatoes. That's what it is. They were good though. They were good.
I was gonna say we need you on Tru Heel's BTR so I can ask you how to make those roast potatoes.
They are some strong spuds, but yeah, mate. Obviously, Twitter's the main game, but like talksport.com/wrestling is where you'll find all of my interviews in written form. Inside the Ropes, their YouTube channel is where you'll find them in video form. And like I said earlier, I will have an announcement next week on an upcoming show that I have signed on to, so that's interesting too. Mondays, of course, is my radio show, which is 7 till 9 on TalkSport 2. And yeah, man, that's pretty much me. And as you can probably hear, my daughter's going mental. So
is mine.
Yeah,
they kids need their daddies. They need their daddies, man.
You make babies, I'll go deal with the ones that I've already created, my friend.
Yeah, you just ahead of me in all facets, man. Like, damn, you getting interviews with top people, you making babies already, Time to get there, man.
Thank you so much for joining us, Alex, as always, and we're sure would love to have you back on in the future. Yes. But I know you got big things going on, so we're gonna stay tuned on all of that, good sir. Yes. Thank you.
You're my favorites, man. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you, Alex.
Yo, it was a pleasure, brother.
So we got one more topic before we welcome in our next guest, but we got to touch on this real quick before we get her on. The latest on WWE's ban of third parties and backlash from superstars and unionization. Wrestling Inc. reported that WWE is rumored to be making superstars sign new contracts to hand over their Cameo accounts. Wrestling Inc. also reported that Vince McMahon sent talent an email this week reminding that they have until this coming Friday to sever unauthorized relationships with third-party platforms, and that talent was told this week that WWE would be taking control of their Twitch accounts. Former Democratic candidate Andrew Yang stated last Friday that he had been told by WWE talent that the company was forcing them to sign new agreements in order to sign over their Twitch accounts. WWE will own the accounts, which includes accounts under talent's real names, and talent will receive a percentage of the revenue, which counts against their downside guarantees. Paige and Selena Vega became vocal on Twitter in regards to learning about unionization following these reports coming out as well. So quickly, guys, what are your thoughts on the latest regarding WWE's ban of third-party accounts and the money affecting their downside guarantees, meaning wrestlers will make no extra money? I will start with you, JJ.
I think sometimes when a company tries to it's like they want a little too much control, like a little too much control. I get that obviously you're a mega company, you obviously don't want things that is maybe not in the company's best interest, because we have kind of like, and I'm in a big company too, like we are in a place where there are certain guidelines when you are being followed when you're in a big position of things that maybe you shouldn't or shouldn't do. But I think you need to trust your people that they're not going to do a matter of such.
Right.
It gives you a freedom of it gives you some respect. It gives you that feeling of respect, and it gives you that feeling, all right, this company actually values me and trusts me. But if you're going to take my accounts that I created and that I worked on, that I actually have thousands upon thousands of followers, y'all didn't give me those thousands of followers. I worked for that. I did that.
Exactly.
So now you want to take control of that, and now you want to namesake it and potentially trademark it for your own being and your own good. I just hope that, honestly, with all of that, that there's a contract in there for them that gives them some type of gain in order for them to seize the control of their personal accounts, because I think that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, you're not supposed to take somebody's personal accounts and literally just say, you know what, just because you work for us, we're gonna take control of these accounts that you created.
Yep.
I don't find it to be something that is logical. I don't find it to be something that's ethical. I think it matters how a company treats their employees, and I think this is a little too much. Much.
Do they got a union? Like how they got like the basketball union and like the people's in charge of the union? Like, is that anything for the wrestlers?
I think at the end of the day, like, I'm not exactly sure as far as the contracts. I think that they're independent contractors, but I definitely think that that's more of an SP question as far as wrestlers and their contracts and how that operates in that manner. I think they're independent contracts, but I'm not exactly sure. I'm pretty sure there might be a small union behind them, but I'm not sure how strong it is.
Yeah, I mean,
that was my question.
There's no union. They're independent contractors, and basically the whole dispute is like if WWE owns their real names, if they can do any of this, and that's why people like Paige and Selena Vega have been like looking into unionization to see what type of things they can like compact this, because they're very big, both of them on Twitch. So I think it's something that we're going to continue to talk about over the next couple of weeks. But do you guys think that there's going to be any significant backlash from the talent in regards to this?
If they determine to put their foot down, some of them might strike or just walk away. Because you're taking my life. If this is my private account and I'm supposed to be making money from this exactly, why do you want to take it?
Yeah. I'll give you 5 names whose Twitch accounts and whose other accounts actually are really big outside of dealing with WWE. You have Xavier Woods.
Yes, knew that.
You have Lana.
Not Xavier Woods, because WWE owns Up Up Down Down.
Right. So that's what I'm just saying. I'm not, because he does streaming services on Twitch as well with Tyler Breeze.
I think WWE owns that as well.
Even when Tyler Breeze joins them?
Because that's under the up, up, down, down umbrella. So that's all WWE.
Because I also know that Paige is huge on Twitch.
Yeah.
Lana is huge on TikTok.
Yes.
And then she's starting to get Natalia huge on it as well. And now that's going to start to get the other ladies on there because because Lana is friends with a lot of these girls.
Yes.
And Lana, as crazy and as dumb as they make her look on TV, she's hella smart social media wise. So Lana's avenue outside of the WWE is social media. So if WWE is like a few names that they're trying to grab because they know how big some of those accounts are in other areas. Besides,
CJ is very smart.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I said, this is going to be something that we're going to debate over and talk about over the next couple of weeks, but I want to get your guys' initial opinion on the letter that went out this week in specific.
Oh, and AJ Styles is also huge on Twitch as well.
Yes, AJ Styles has been vocal about what's been going on, but he's the one guy that's not going to really be affected because he's got a big contract with WWE.
AJ is fucking paid. He just got himself a fucking a custom-made i9 computer geeked out processor that costs thousands of dollars, and that shit just probably got wiped out in a match.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He has got nothing to worry about. So, before we get into your guys' favorite time of the week, where we talk about week 49 of the Wednesday Night Wars, we have our second special guest of this episode, a first on Tru Heel Heat. We've never had two special guests, and we got two of the UK like alumni of wrestling media. We had Alex McCarthy, who just joined us, and now we have interviewer for WWE and AEW talent. She is a presenter for Sportskeeda. Most recently, she's been one of the voices and interviewers for Revolution Pro, one of the top independent promotions in the UK. She covers it all from WWE to New Japan to AEW. She's up at the crack of dawn with me watching G1 Climax 30, so I appreciate her 100%. She is the one, the only, the lovely Stephanie Chase. Thank you for joining us.
Woo!
Oh wow, that is awesome.
That was an amazing introduction. Thank you so much, and thank you for having me.
I would say the only advantage you have with the G1 is that yours don't start at like 3 a.m. Yours start at like 8 a.m.
When you stay up for Dynamite the night before...
Oh, yeah. That's when it catches up to you. When you're up until 3 in the morning watching Dynamite.
I understand if you're tired today, because I am as well.
That's why when I went away to the UK, when I went to go see my lady, I was like, I can't do the wrestling stuff for 2 weeks because I ain't staying up until 4 in the morning watching wrestling. I can't do it.
Like, you just sleep when there's no wrestling on, so...
Yeah, that's it.
It's like 1 day a week, pretty much.
Yeah. You'll make it work. You'll figure it out.
Shit, we'll do it if you get that.
So, Stephanie, we always like our special guests to kind of introduce themselves. So tell our viewers, our subscribers, a little bit about you and what you're doing in the game, besides of what my great introduction told them about you.
Well, I think your introduction covered everything. Yeah, I work mostly for Digital Spy, interviewing people from WWE and AEW. I interviewed Sami Zayn today. That was really cool. And
Love it.
yeah, he was so nice. And a lot of those interviews I put on my YouTube channel, Stephanie Chase Wrestling. There's a lot of fun ones on there, like Jericho, Michelle McCool, Finn Balor, Damian Priest recently. And then, yeah, as you said, I've recently been working with Revolution Pro Wrestling, Rev Pro, over in the UK on their most recent shows, which has been really fun. I've been doing a bit of... I don't know what you would call it, I'm kind of like the analysis before the match that gives you like a little bit of background, a little bit of detail about what's going on. And yeah, and aside from that, I do some presenting for Sportskeeda as well.
Yes, you're my Sportskeeda sister, so I'm very happy to have you on the show, Stephanie. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm very excited to be here.
So we had to get through all the WWE stuff, but we got a little bit more WWE to talk about because we got week 49 of the Wednesday Night Wars between WWE, NXT, and AEW Dynamite. For our viewers, you know this is your favorite time of the show where we tell you the ratings as they just posted up, as well as what happened on both shows, and we let you know what was the better show for the week. If you don't like our opinion or Stephanie, you can always watch Wednesday Night Warriors with the good brothers Romeo and Chris, where they give you a detailed analysis of both shows and they determine what they thought was the better show. But Miss Krssi Love, you want to hit the drums? So, for week 49 of the Wednesday Night Wars, WWE NXT comes in with 639,000 viewers, to AEW Dynamite with 753,000. Once again, AEW Dynamite wins, but both shows are down significantly from last week over on WWE NXT. I think the big news, what we touched on earlier, is another injury in a very scary moment. Ridge Holland had to be stretchered out, seemingly hurting his ACL following a brawl with Oni Lorcan. We had Ember Moon returned. She cut a promo making her claim for the NXT Women's Championship and teaming with Rhea Ripley to defeat Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez in the main event. A great epilogue for the main event of TakeOver between Balor and O'Reilly. We had Jacob Maverick and Killian Dane got their first win as a team, and some excellent or horrible theme music to go along with that. And we had Dexter Lumis, Miss Krssi Love's favorite, made his return to in-ring action with his spooky face. But over on
sexy face, but
spooky, sexy, to each his own. AEW Dynamite, we had the special celebrating Jericho's 30th anniversary, which featured video messages from Ultimo Dragon, Bully Ray, Gene Simmons, the Big Shaq Diesel, Laker great, one win away. By this time, we're NBA champions, but to each his own. And was highlighted by a video message from the one, the only, the ace, Hiroshi Tanahashi of Japan Pro Wrestling, a TV Match of the Year candidate with a brutal dog collar match with Cody defeating Brody Lee to become the new TNT champion. We had Brian Cage defeat Will Hobbs to defend the FTW championship in a fun opener. We had FTR defeat TH2 to defend the tag team titles, while the Young Bucks watched from backstage with their back turned to the TV monitor, which was a hilarious moment to me. And followed by Best Friends coming down to challenge FTR for next week's anniversary show. We had two really good promos from Archer and Moxley setting up next week's world title match, featuring pictures from New Japan Pro Wrestling and Wrestle Kingdom 14 match earlier this year between the two men. Also a nice promo from an In Denial X, as I like to call him, Kenny Omega, who is upset, seemed pretty upset that a tag team wrestler, Hangman Page, is in the number one contenders tournament. Swole defeated Serena Deebs, and Jericho and Hager defeated Chaos Project following MJF came down and interrupted to another tease of their feud. So what was the better show this week? We had the post TakeOver 31 episode of NXT or AEW Dynamite with Jericho's 30th anniversary. We will start with our special guest, Stephanie. Let us know.
Oh, it was Dynamite 100%. I mean, it was a celebration of Jericho. So firstly, I was, that's the best thing you could put on TV. And then secondly, the Cody and Brody Lee dog collar match was amazing. So yeah, no contest, hands down, Dynamite.
I think you could tell by my analysis of both that I had a very little to say about NXT, and then everything on AEW was kind of noteworthy. But we will still ask Krssi Love, what was your thoughts, AEW or NXT this week?
In wrestling's defense for last night's ratings, they were up against a lot. Just saying. Mm-hmm. So, picture-in-picture was very hard for me last night because I was watching so many things on television. So, my answer is AEW, of course. Duh. However, it's NXT. They just got the short end of the. You got the full straws. They just got the short one last night. Just had to say. Sorry. They did have good things that did happen, yes. However, unfortunately, we had Jericho night. We had the dog collar match, which is I'm not going to say about that until we talk about our matches for AEW's first year. And goddamn, Amber Moon with that finisher last night, superb.
The Eclipse did look beautiful. First time in a while we saw that. And Top J JJ, what was your opinion? The better show for the week, AEW or NXT?
I mean, come on, NXT wins by a landslide. Get the yo NXT. I think NXT forgot that they had competition on Wednesday. Like I feel like they didn't pay attention to what transpired, and it's like this was probably one of the laziest episodes of NXT I've seen in quite some time. This show was pure filler. This was all filler to me. Like the opener would have been the best thing of the show with Kushida and Tommaso Ciampa. This I'm giving NXT some vocals because they're not going to get much more after this. AEW show to me was just loaded from top to bottom. Like It was just loaded. Like AEW brought it, and I literally think I just said it off conversation. I feel like WWE's response to AEW Dynamite is going to happen tomorrow night on SmackDown Live because it just was like what NXT put together last night. It was a throne show put together. This looked like a show that was affected by the pay-per-view because no one that performed at TakeOver essentially performed on NXT the following Wednesday. It was literally all the subs that came through and just did an NXT show, put it together, and just prayers goes to Holland because it looked, oh my God, that looked scary. It looked like a compound fracture. It looked like it was scary. When you see somebody slowly fall like that, I just pray that he gets back to full health because that looked scary. Mm-hmm. It looked so damn scary. But AEW, this wasn't even a contest as far as what was a better show. I just hope that Tim Holland gets better quickly. Rich Holland.
Yes, we hope that Rich Holland is going to be well following that very, very scary injury with that howl at the end. That was probably the scariest thing about that injury to me. But I agree with you guys. I'll make it unanimous. AEW wins for the week. I really enjoyed on NXT the opener with Ciampa and Kushida. That was really good, but it had a blase finish with Velveteen Dream coming down. So the one really good thing on the show was kind of ruined by the end, but that match ruled. But the best match of the night by far was Cody versus Brody Lee. That was brutal. That was bloody. That was a great match, and if it had a crowd, that would have been a classic, an all-time classic. But it's something that I'm definitely gonna remember because Brody Lee, he finally got to have, I feel like, the match he's been wanting to have since the beginning of his WWE career. He said he lives for matches like that, and that was brutal. And I don't think Brody lost anything by losing the title. I know online there's a bunch of fans that's like, oh, Cody's just another Triple H or another Jeff Hardy, but I mean Jeff Jarrett. But I will say this: the promo that he cut saying that he was very happy to be in front of fans, that was so emotionally driven. That was great. And then the follow up with Orange Cassidy coming down. Orange Cassidy, they have done a great job of making a star with Orange Cassidy. So in my eyes, a little prediction or spoiler for next week's anniversary show. I feel like Cody just won the title to transition it over to Orange Cassidy because Orange Cassidy can't really afford another loss after he just lost to Brody Lee for the TNT Championship. So it felt like with that whole segment, that whole segment was 5 stars in my opinion, but with Orange coming out at the end, I think that Cody is just a transitional champion in my opinion to kind of move it over to Orange. That's what at least I hope for. I really enjoyed the opener. Will Hobbs looked like a star, and Brian Cage, we were reminded that Brian Cage has probably one of the best arsenals in professional wrestling. He has so many unique moves for a guy of his size, and that was just a plain old horse fight, as you like to say, and you love to see that one. The main event was probably the only thing that I felt kind of disappointed, but that was more or less an anniversary type of main event. It was like a dark match that was on television. It was just a celebration of Jericho. Jericho got to play a babyface for once. The crowd was into him, and then I loved the little tease with MJF. The pop that I got of the whole night was the end credits with Jericho doing everything like it was Saturday Night Live. That was awesome, and the whole every heel. That's what I didn't notice until after the fact when I saw the picture online, that it was only heels that came down and kind of celebrated with them. So I love those little touches. Those little touches are very nice, and I love what they're leading to with MJF and Jericho. So that's very fun. But the other thing that we gotta mention from last night's Dynamite is, what do you guys think of the significant New Japan Pro Wrestling presence on this week's AEW Dynamite following the announced departure of Harold Meij? We've had rumors and people coming out that, you know, AEW talent as well as New Japan talent are very confident or very optimistic about the future of a relationship between the two companies. We had Moxley and Archer use the pictures from Wrestle Kingdom. We had Tanahashi with the big New Japan logo doing the video message. So what do you guys think? Stephanie, I will start with you. I know you're a big fan of New Japan and AEW. So what were your thoughts on that kind of presence on last night's episode?
Well, I thought it was really cool for a start. It was so cool to see Tanahashi on the show. As far as whether I think anything's changed immediately, I'm kind of not jumping to that conclusion. I think things will definitely get better now that Harold's gone. I think he seemed to be kind of the problem. But I think with Tanahashi, I think he would have done this anyway and been allowed to do it anyway because it's Jericho and they do love Jericho no matter what. And I think they would have, if it's something that Tanahashi wanted to do, they would have totally seen the value in him doing it. As far as the Moxley Archer stuff, the match didn't surprise me, but I guess the use of photos kind of did. It was like just more like blatantly New Japan than I had seen before. So yeah, I don't want to get like too optimistic that things are better between them, but it certainly looks like it could be going that way. And it was just to me, as someone like that's such a massive New Japan fan, like watching Dynamite and seeing people react to Tanahashi being on the show on Twitter and stuff, I just thought it was amazing. Like it just, you know, showed how much people do value New Japan and how important New Japan is. And I don't know, maybe if AEW or and New Japan are both looking at the reaction to that, it could bring them a little bit closer together as well.
Yeah, because they're both two companies that really put reverence into what the fans think, and you felt a sense of excitement among both fan bases with that presence on last night's show. JJ, what was your thoughts on Tanahashi's message and the presence of New Japan last night?
You know, Tanahashi's my guy, man. I love Tanahashi. So it kind of is like when you see like that door just like crack. Like the door just cracked. Like it cracked. It finally cracked after like 2 years. It feels like it finally cracked after all this talk. I mean, in the beginning, I was kind of just hoping that AEW did their own thing. I think I was pretty loud on that. Where I just wish that AEW just built their own foundation, which I believe they have firmly done in their first, year plus of being an existing company. So now, if this could potentially open the door for like two juggernauts to come together to really have some dream situations really come true, like I am all for it. Like, if you're going to tell me there is a goddamn chance that I could see Jay White and Kenny Omega in the ring together, I am getting a wrestling orgasm just thinking about that. Like, the possibilities that can come from this, it is mouth-watering. Like, this, it is a dream scenario that wrestling fans deserve after the shitstorm we got of 2020. We deserve to pretend, even just to think that there's a chance that something like this can come to life. Yeah, it might not happen for a while, but shit, the door cracked.
I feel like if they did one super show a year, it would be so amazing. And
Oh God.
like, you know, when you were a kid during the Monday Night Wars and you thought like, yeah, but what if we could just get WCW and WWF? Like, what if we got Goldberg versus Austin? Like, if you can get two major companies like that.
Money.
Take my pounds.
But like, if you could just get two big companies, especially two that wrestling fans like, let's say, take more seriously than WWE, perhaps that's like more hardcore, to come together just even once a year for a huge super show to make some dream matches, it would just. There's so much money to be made. There's so much money.
I just feel like the Harold Made size portal just opened up. It just opened up just a little bit between AEW and New Japan, and I love to see it. But we got to move on to the rest of the news before we close things out with some G1 predictions and our top 3 moments of Dynamite's first year. WWE news: the WWE draft rules came out just by Ryan Satin of Fox Sports. Congratulations to him on that new position. Over 60 male superstars, female superstars, and tag teams have been placed in the 2020 WWE draft. More than 20 superstars are eligible to be drafted on Friday night. More than 30 superstars are eligible to be drafted on Monday night. Due to the length of each show, for every 2 picks that SmackDown selects, Raw will get 3 picks. Tag teams will count as 1 pick unless Fox or USA Network, in conjunction with WWE officials, want to pick 1 superstar from the team, and any undrafted superstars will immediately be declared free agents and able to sign with the brand of their choosing. Krssi Love, I will ask you, who would your number 1 pick of the WWE draft be?
Do I have to pick? Because I hate the draft.
Just pick anyone. Just pick anyone. Your number 1 pick from WWE draft. You have the number 1 overall pick. Who are you picking? Can be any brand. I will even give you NXT. I will even give you NXT.
No, I'm not touching NXT. No, sir. Absolutely not. Okay. Let's go with AJ Styles.
I dig it. I like that pick. Inside the Ropes reported that WWE was planning on booking Drew McIntyre versus Tyson Fury for a UK pay-per-view prior to the current global pandemic. I think, Stephanie, you could tell us better than we know. How big would have that been in the UK for a Tyson Fury Drew McIntyre matchup?
It would be like Tyson Fury is a really big name, but like Drew McIntyre is not a big name. He's not a household name. I don't even think that when Tyson Fury worked with WWE in Saudi Arabia that it actually got that much press over here. Certainly it's not as much as they want it. For a one-on-one match, it would get press, but I think it would leave a lot of boxing fans thinking, what the heck is Tyson Fury doing? You know? So, like, it would not be that big a deal at all, you know, really. It wouldn't be like Floyd at WrestleMania or something.
True.
It's not going to... That kind of thing is not going to reignite the product in the UK. Like, maybe Drew could, but that kind of gimmick stunt is not going to... I don't think it's going to do much for them.
Yeah, I think we in the US eat up this type of stuff more than you guys, honestly.
Like using the celebrities, like these random football players and stuff, like with us, it doesn't really work as well.
You know, give and take. Renee Young returns to WWE this week for Fox's SmackDown pre-show. She will host along with Booker T prior to the WWE draft edition of SmackDown on Fox. WWE puts out conflicting tweets in regards to whether or not NXT will be a part of this week's draft as well. And WrestleVotes reports that there will be multiple ideas about removing the Money in the Bank briefcase from Otis and make the storyline a main focus. However, Vince McMahon is the number 1 Otis fan, so nothing has passed as of yet. Top Guy JJ, do you want the briefcase off of Otis, and who would you put it on?
No, I don't want the briefcase on Otis because this is something that that has a year stories of that has a year story to build on. So Otis doesn't need to do anything with it for another few months. So I like the fact that they're getting him in the ring more. He's been on TV a lot more. He's been involved with SmackDown a lot more lately because once he won the briefcase, he was on SmackDown for a little while. Then he took a lot of time away off TV. So now he's gaining his relevance back. And now that the champions, like it just didn't feel believable that he would have been able to take the title off of Braun Strowman. So now it's like now the title is away from that monster, and now he can do some sneaky stuff to one of these other potential champions or sneak in there. But then it's like, do you want to take the title off of Roman to ruin that? It's conflicting. But then now, where do you put this briefcase? Now, I would say my thing is I would have drafted my number one draft pick would be Otis going to Raw. Because now you can now make Otis now go after the WWE title and not interfere with the whole Roman Reigns story.
Correct.
Because Otis does not fit on SmackDown right now where it is played. And then Otis gets to go back to his baby.
There you go. Reunite some lovers. Top Guy JJ is all about love on this episode. WWE has added another member to their board of directors in Barstool Sports CEO Erica Nardini. Ronda Rousey, our Lord and Savior, only has a few months left on her WWE deal as it expires in April of 2021. Despite reports that she...
little fuzzy over here. A little staticky.
Ronda's still making that WWE money.
Sheesh. I'm just calling her by her nickname. And there has been reports that she has been training to return to the ring. And then finally, SmackDown ratings were up again to 2.155 million viewers, while Raw was down against two Monday Night Football games to 1.686 million viewers. AEW News... Yeah, it's tough. Fightful Select reports that they spoke with talent in AEW over the last week, and according to them, most who haven't worked in Japan very much don't consider the development of Harold Meij or departing New Japan Pro Wrestling as a primary concern of theirs, and haven't heard much discussion about it. The consensus is that everyone who is aware there was some bad blood on both sides of the split when much of New Japan's talent left for AEW, while a top talent said it will not hurt things with Meij having alienated English-speaking talent. What was your thoughts, Stephanie, on Harold Meij's basically reputation of sorts when it came to how he handled the whole AEW introduction, and how it seemed like the guys in AEW wanted to form their partnership immediately and he just wasn't receptive to it?
I think he did handle it badly. But it's definitely easier to say that in retrospect now that we know what they became. I think Harold was pretty good as far as English speaking things go. I think he was really great for the fans as well. But I just think that there's kind of as great as the Young Bucks and Kenny are, they were also kind of not taking over New Japan in a way, but they were kind of injecting like a lot of themselves into New Japan that took away from the actual Japanese product a bit. And I think Harold kind of saw that, and I think Harold maybe thought that their egos were kind of getting too large, and that they were, at the end of the day, like just some foreigners that were brought in. And but he could have been more diplomatic with them for sure, and then we'd have a partnership already. So yes, it is like, you read that he did alienate the English speaking talent, which is odd because he seemed to really embrace the English speaking fans and just want to be friends. So I think Harold was a good and bad New Japan leader, but he certainly did a great job during the pandemic, and I was shocked when they ousted him, especially after doing such a good job, I think, during the pandemic.
Absolutely, I know Top Guy JJ felt the same, but I think as more time passes, we're gonna hear more and more stuff about why this came to pass. I think this past week kind of shed more light on it. We'll talk about it a little bit as well with the New Japan news. But AEW's final news note is Chris Jericho during his Saturday night special says that he was supposed to face Mike Tyson at AEW All Out prior to plans being scrapped. So we could have saw Tyson versus Jericho as they teased on that Dynamite episode following AEW Double or Nothing. New Japan news. New Japan, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that Mage had a reputation among the American talent, at least, of being divisive. He was said to be disliked by them as time went by, even after making a good first impression. So like Stephanie said, it just seems kind of jarring because he was very welcoming to like American and English speaking fans, but it seems that behind the scenes he wasn't getting along too much with the American talent, which has kind of become more prominent in New Japan over the last couple of years with Omega, Jay White, Will Ospreay, and others like that. But this week as well, New Japan announced this week that the World Tag League 2020 and the Best of the Super Juniors 27 will kick off on November 15th and run through December 11th. So we got more tournament action, more wrestling for you, Miss Krssi Love. Are you ready for more tournaments from New Japan?
I guess so. We got how many more days left?
Hey, we got about 7 more days left of the G1 Climax, and then you get a few weeks off, and then you got more tournaments to come.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, man. See, at least the cherry got popped, and you get a breather, and now, you know, it's time for some more good old wrestling. You know.
Gotta love it.
Sure.
You gotta love it. Impact Wrestling news. Impact Wrestling announces a new TV deal with Premier Sports TV in the UK and Ireland. We have other wrestling news with MLW announces the return of the Opera Cup with their fall restart. They also have a new TV deal in the UK and Ireland with Sports Channel. We saw a huge fallout on Twitter this week with Ethan Page backing out of Joey Janela's Spring Break following a dispute over payment for trading cards sold by GCW, and All Japan Pro Wrestling Champion Carnival 2020 finals had Zeus defeating Kento Mirahara to win the tournament. So that brings us to our prediction time, a preview of the G1 Climax 30 this week. 4 big shows coming up this week, and it will really determine what happens on the final 3 nights, who will be in the A block final, who will be in the B block final, and what 2 competitors will meet on the 18th in the finals. Stephanie, any overall thoughts on this year's G1 Climax 30 before we get into predictions for what's going on this week?
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it, and I think that Jay White has had such a great showing in this G1. As someone that's always been a really vocal Jay White fan, what I have noticed this G1 is so many people are turning and just jumping on that bandwagon now. all these people that told me that his matches were boring or that they had all these different problems with him or that he wasn't connecting or whatever are just suddenly turning around and saying, oh, you know, Jay had a really great match. Oh, Jay's really been working his like mannerisms and Jay's, and I'm just like, yeah, to me nothing's changed. It's just you've all missed him and are now opening your eyes.
So I did love your prediction because it seems to be like hovering over the surface and the behind the backstage interviews. Your prediction of Jay White versus Evil for the finals, and it seems like their interviews are kind of like teasing that with Jay kind of upset with how Evil reacted to Kenta in their match and not giving him the too sweet, and then Kenta responding and saying that we don't all fall behind Jay White. So what's your thoughts on those interviews kind of teasing your prediction?
For Evil and Jay White? Sorry, I lost you a bit.
No.
Yeah, I really think that's where we're going. I don't know if we're going to go there in the final, because I just think people might be disappointed in that final, not because of Jay, because of Evil, because Evil's not really had the best showing. Like, Evil's not the best wrestler, but I just kind of like the overall like presentation and character of Evil. But To me, yeah, there's a lot going on with Bullet Club to be looked at. I think the Kenta Evil match really showed that, and some of the reactions from the Bullet Club members online after the Kenta and Evil match. And I just think that why would you have Evil have TikTok when Jay has Gato if you're not building up to like these two men coming together, facing each other with their seconds and just sorting out who's the leader once and for all. And I think when that happens, that will be a bit of a turn for Jay, because I think the fans definitely prefer him to Evil.
I mean, he just plays such a cool heel. I've been loving him making fun of the restrictions of the fans with his mocking of the clapping and everything. He's been awesome so far in the G1 Climax. So on October 10th, G1 Climax A Block night. I think this is night 13 in Osaka.
There's so much damn wrestling. It's too many nights. You can't remember the numbers.
So many. And we're going to have Ishii going one-on-one with Jeff Cobb. You're going to see Jay White versus another Bullet Club member in Yujiro Takahashi. You also got Ospreay versus Taiichi.
He's going to fight one of his friends?
Yes, he is. We're going to see if he
going to lay down. Yujiro's going to lay down for that one.
he should. He should. Yujiro's been having longer matches than he needs to, so I think he should take the day off on that one. We also got Ospreay versus Taiichi, but I got to get your predictions on the top two matches, as it's going to be Kota Ibushi going one-on-one with Minoru Suzuki. Stephanie, I talked about in our What We Missed how Minoru Suzuki had a stunning performance against Will Ospreay, 52 years old, going move for move for one of the fastest wrestlers in the game, but this one against Ibushi, you know it's going to be hard-hitting, so who you got, Suzuki or Ibushi?
I've got Ibushi, just because it's Ibushi. I'm always... But, I love Ibushi, but I really love Minoru Suzuki so much, and I'm always sad every time he has to lose. I wish he had, one, amazing, later live run of... winning the heavyweight title or something, or getting to a G1 final, but I don't see that ever happening. I'm going with Kota.
Who you got, top guy JJ, Ibushi versus Suzuki?
Wouldn't this be some New Japan shit if Minoru Suzuki pulls this upset? It would just be some straight New Japan stuff, but I cannot go against Ibushi. Ibushi at some point, he's gotta get his Wrestle Kingdom moment. It's gotta come sooner rather than later. I'm going with Ibushi.
Miss Krssi Love?
Across the board for me.
You're going with Ibushi as well. I'm going to be the oddball on this one because
I wanted to.
Because right now Ibushi will be going into this show as the A Block leader, and I think we have to make everything really close as we go to the final nights, and I think this is where Ibushi takes another loss to Suzuki in this one, but it's going to be a really good matchup here. We're going to have in the main event, first time ever, this one is what I like to call a certified banger extreme, as it's going to be Shingo Takagi going one-on-one with Kazuka Okada. Takagi has honestly been the A Block MVP in my eyes. He's had the best two matches of the tournament against Ibushi and against Ospreay. Jay White has been kind of the standout heel, but when it comes to in-ring action, Shingo has been the guy. But Okada hasn't been Okada since the whole return from lockdown, and we've kind of seen his whole storyline is more about him focusing on his new style of winning over what works for him, and that's the Rainmaker. We haven't seen the Rainmaker yet, but we've been seeing him constantly go to this money clip that doesn't work. His Cobra Clutch does not work, but he seems to keep going to it. But will he pull out the Rainmaker, and who wins? Shingo versus Okada. We'll start with you, top guy.
Shingo's been something special in this tournament. Shingo has been something special, and I think that he continues this wave and pulls a massive upset and actually defeats Okada in this tournament.
Who you got, Miss Krssi Love?
I'm gonna go with Okada. Keep it simple. I think he'll pull it out.
Stick with the formula, right?
Yep, stick with them. Yep.
Okada wins. LOL.
Stick with the formula.
I am going to go with Shingo. I think that Shingo has been fantastic. They're really high on Shingo. If there's ever a time that you can beat Okada, it's now that he's going through the storyline. And I think that this could be the last straw for Okada. I think his opponent after this is Ishii, and that's an easy victory for Okada. So I think like he gets beaten by Shingo, snaps, and is like, okay, the experiment is over. Rainmaker Ishii.
Rainmaker's Ishii like 22 times.
Yeah.
He keeps hold of the wrist as we've seen over the years, and I'm gonna tie things up here, and I'm gonna go with Okada winning this one. And I think we're gonna see a one match earlier than what Stephanie's predicting. I think he might pull out the Rainmaker to finish the Dragon, because he's gonna have to, honestly, in my opinion. On the 11th, we got B block competition back in play. ZSJ will go one-on-one with Yoshihashi, who in my opinion has been the most improved performer of the entire G1. You got Yano versus Kenta. You got Juice versus Sonata. Tanahashi versus Goto. But I gotta ask you guys about the main event of the evening. It is a rematch from Summer Struggle in Janku, where Tetsuya Naito defeated Evil to regain the IWGP Intercontinental and Heavyweight titles. This one is Evil versus Naito Part 3. Who wins the rubber match? We'll start with you, Stephanie.
Evil. I think Evil wins it. I think it makes more sense for Evil to win it. Then it will make more sense out of him losing that title so quickly to give him this win and probably top the B block so that I get my prediction final.
Yes, Naito is coming into this as the B block leader, so that would actually tie things up at the top with him and Evil would have the tiebreaker. So who do you have in this one, Miss Krssi Love?
Okay, so wait, so both of them have won a match, correct?
Well, Naito is the leader. He's 5-1 going into this one, while Evil is 4-2. So if Evil,
they've won against each other twice already, correct?
Yes, and they're 1-1.
Okay. I'm gonna go Evil.
Go with Evil. Agree with Stephanie. The ladies are going with Evil in this one. As I've said before, not many ladies in the world can overcome Evil Dick, and it seems like most of the New Japan roster cannot as well. Who do you got, top guy JJ?
I'm going with the ladies here, man. This only makes sense for Evil to stay super relevant inside this going into Wrestle Kingdom season, just to make things more suspenseful. Naito can afford this stuff to happen to him. Naito can afford this, totally afford this, and this keeps Evil super relevant. I'm going with Evil.
Yes, Evil is coming off a big win over Tanahashi on night 12. So I'm going to also agree with you guys and say Evil wins in the main event of night 14. And
Has ever Naito been picked 0-4 in a match?
It's very rare. It's very rare, but this is the time. October 13th, A Block has its last regular night when it comes to competition before the final night for the A Block, and we're going to see Ospreay versus Jeff Cobb in a rematch from G1 Supercard. You're going to see Ibushi versus Yujiro, Shingo versus Taishi, and I will ask you guys about the top two matches of the A Block once again. You got Minoru Suzuki versus Jay White, two of the best heels in New Japan, going one-on-one. Who you got, Miss Krssi Love?
I'm sorry, you said Jay White, and who else?
Minoru Suzuki.
Jay White.
J1. She's going with J1. Who you got, Stephanie?
Well, firstly, my heart's going to be torn in two between my love for Jay White and hard men in their 50s. It's got to be Jay. It has to be Jay.
It's got to be Jay. Yay.
Who do you got, top guy?
So, before I give my prediction on that, shout outs to Jeff Cobb getting his biggest win in the entire tournament. A couple of days, biggest win I've seen Jeff Cobb get in New Japan. I've been calling him out this entire tournament. He got himself a huge win. So props to Jeff Cobb. But going back into this match, God, this one is hard. Wow, this one is hard. Oh my God, how does Jay White escape this match without getting injured?
Mm.
So I'm going to go. Suzuki lost. We picked Suzuki to lose in his last match. I want Suzuki to have a strong tournament as well. I'm just going to be the oddball. I want Suzuki to win this match. I want Suzuki to have strong relevance in this tournament still. This man is 52 years old, and the matches that he's putting on in this damn tournament, he deserves a swan song finish, damn it. I want Suzuki to win this match.
I predicted Suzuki to beat Ibushi, so I'm gonna go with Jay White in this one. I think he needs to be in the running for the final night of the A block, and then in the main event, it is a Battle of Chaos members. This is another certified banger extreme, as it's gonna be Kazuchika Okada going one-on-one with Tomohiro Ishii. These two have had nothing but great matches. Tomohiro Ishii actually defeated Kazuchika Okada in the G1 a couple of years ago in a 5-star classic. So who do you got in this one? Ishii versus Okada. It seems like everyone in the tournament has their best match against Ishii. As we said on the last Tru Heel Heat, he's like the video game boss where he takes a couple of hits before he even sells anything, and I think it's going to be the same against Okada. Who do you got, Steph?
I've got Okada. He's pulling out that Rainmaker for the end.
This will be the match. Who do you got, top guy?
Me and Stephanie's right here. I'm going with Okada pulling out that Rainmaker out of sheer frustration after losing that last match. That Rainmaker is getting blasted 5 times in this match because he is going to be pissed off.
Krssi?
Okada. I can't beat it. I can't vote against him.
I'm going to agree with you guys. Unanimous. Okada gets the victory over Ishii, but this one is going to be great. And then the final B block night, before we get to the final 3 nights, it's going to have Kenta going one-on-one with Yoshihashi, Juice versus Zack Sabre Jr., Naito versus Yano, which is always a whole lot of fun. Will the Sublime Thief get one over the IWGP double strap champion? You got Goto versus Evil, but
Yano gets on my damn nerves. I just want to say, Yano gets on my damn nerves.
Why?
Like, he's a thief in the night that just steals matches out of thin air. Like, it's a thing of art, but he just gets on my nerves. But it's a beautiful thing.
But you have to give credit to him and Goto making history this past week with the shortest match in G1 history. 18 seconds Goto defeated Yano, making history. Gave both of those guys a night off, so that was beautiful.
Goto gets on my nerves, so anytime I don't have to watch Goto, I'm happy. So
Goto's one of those guys, and he's had like a so-so tournament. That's why I said like Yoshihashi's been the most surprising, because I felt that way about him, and he's kind of exceeded my expectations throughout this tournament. But we will ask about the main event of B Block on October 14th. It is going to be Hiroshi Tanahashi going one-on-one with Sanada. Our very own J News Japan, he predicted Sanada to win the entire B Block, and Sanada has been on a run. He started out 0-3, and he's won every match since then. So who wins this one? Tanahashi versus Sanada. I will start things off on this one, and I will agree with J News. I think Sanada has to be in the running for the final night, so I think Sanada's gonna win here, and he's gonna continue his win streak. Who do you have, Stephanie?
Oh, this one's really hard. I think that I would love to have all the points in front of me, because if it was a case that Sanada, if he wins this, was pretty much taking the block, then I'd say that Tanahashi would be winning to prevent that. So it's kind of it's more a mathematical thing, but I'm going to go with Tanahashi, because I just kind of feel sorry for him today. Like, be beat by Evil. So yeah, he can beat Sanada. It's fine.
I just want to say that Tanahashi's hair has been one of my highlights of the entire G1 Climax.
We've been talking about his hair for ever. Yep.
Immaculate. It's immaculate. I come up with different phrases. Remarkable. It's amazing every time. 7 stars. Who do you got? Tanahashi versus Sonata, top guy.
I mean, look, man, I've been wanting swan songs for a lot of people in this tournament. Somebody's got to have a tough tournament. Tanahashi's had a tough tournament. I think it continues. Sonata pulls this one off in a really, really great match. Probably Tanahashi's best match of the entire tournament, but it will result in a loss. I will believe that Sonata pulls this off. Somebody's got to have a tough tournament. I think it's Tanahashi.
And Krssi Love finishes off. We got 2 for Sonata, 1 for Tanahashi. Who you got, Miss Krssi?
Sonata for the win.
Going with Sonata here. So we will see what happens, what shapes out in this week of the G1, and we will be back on Tru Heel Heat 96 to predict the final 3 nights of the tournament. But our final segment is devoted to AEW Dynamite. It has been 1 year since the debut of AEW Dynamite on TNT in Washington, D.C. on October 2nd, 2019. We have seen so many great matches. I recently did an article for Sportskeeda giving you the 10 greatest AEW Dynamite matches of year 1, which, spoiler alert, coming in at number 1 in my opinion was the Iron Man match between Pac and Kenny Omega from this past February. But we saw the parking lot fight with Best Friends and Proud and Powerful most recently. We saw stuff on AEW Dynamite this week as well that was kind of great moments of the first year. But we will give each of us our top 3 moments of AEW Dynamite's year 1. I will start with you, Stephanie. Hit us off. What do you think?
Do you want all 3, and do you want them in order?
You can whatever you want to do. You can put it in order, or you can just say what you feel. If you don't want to put them in order, it's up to you.
I'll kind of put them in order. So I think my lowest of the top 3 moments would actually be when Mike Tyson appeared to confront Jericho. Okay. I'm not saying it was a great moment, and I'm also not saying that I like Mike Tyson at all, but there was something, about the kind of buzz that it created that I felt like they had arrived.
Yeah.
It was coming at a time when like Mike Tyson was putting himself back out there in the media, and then AEW had him on Dynamite, and it was with Jericho, and I just think it as a idea and how it was executed, it all just worked to kind of give AEW that bigger feel of like, okay, we're not playing, we're gonna do something like this. So yeah, I put that in there. And then I'd also say the backstage match that I think happened in about May, with the Inner Circle and when Matt Hardy ran over Sammy Guevara.
Yes.
That was just really, really great. Really great. I think that they do kind of they mix violence with like comedy spots pretty well. They showed that in Stadium Stampede, and that was just a great match to have on Dynamite. But my number 1 would be Cody and Wardlow in the cage.
Absolutely.
I thought that match was incredible. I really like Wardlow. I honestly think Wardlow's the future of the company, but it's just not right now. I'd even give him more than a year, but I think he's the future. I thought the match was great. Cody is, I don't think any wrestler in recent times has made me cry as much as Cody has. He that emotion out of me. And that match, there was just a tremendous visual of him on top of the cage. Then the promo that he did afterwards, everything about it, it was just like everything you love about Cody. It was quite like the match we had this week, but a little bit more on the emotional side. Because this week when the match ended, I just thought, oh no, is Cody gonna make me cry at a promo? But then he got so. But he definitely did that week. So that was a great match.
I love all your choices. I definitely had some crossover when I was debating what I was gonna make my top 3 moments, but those are perfect. The moonsault off the top of the cage, probably in everyone's top, at least top 5, top 10 greatest moments in AEW Dynamite, and probably wrestling television. That whole episode was stellar from top to bottom. Though, and I said in my article for Sportskeeda, the month of February from AEW was the best wrestling television I've witnessed since the Attitude Era, in my opinion. Top Guy JJ, what is your top 3 moments?
Oh, mine's is gonna be a little bit on this. Like, all right, mine's. I felt like that. I have to say a match for me. One was a match. That Pac and that and Omega match was the bar setter for me. Just seeing that to appreciate matches was, oh my god, it was a thing of beauty. And I'm gonna cheat a little bit with number 2. Cody. I'm just gonna say Cody. Cody has been. Damn, Cody has been good in this year of Dynamite. Like, he has been amazing.
Yeah.
So, like, the fact that he has obviously the promos, the moments, the matches, because I want that dog collar match in these moments so bad. But then I don't want to give 2 of his moments to be dog collar and then the match against Warlow. I just want to say Cody in general. And I'm biased. I am totally biased with my number 1 is the Gift of Jericho, baby. Like, Chris Jericho, when his segments with the Inner Circle have been the most precious thing that I've seen on wrestling television in forever. So I'm putting mine in collections because AEW has been so damn good for the first year for me that I don't want to cheat out so many moments. Like, AEW has been something special, and those are just the ones that stands out for me. I want that match. Give me Cody and give me the Gift of Jericho. I'm cheating.
I see that, but I respect it. Miss Krssi Love.
Okay, so my number 3 would have to be when Britt Baker was in her office and she was making what's her name?
Reba.
I mean, she can do no wrong. Britt Baker is so good. And then her being injured even just made it even, like, I feel when she got injured, she was like on TV even more. Yeah. If that makes sense. I think she was phenomenal. So she would be my number 3, especially when it was in the dentist's office and she was making Reba just go all over the place and she was just screaming at her. I think that's my number 3. My number 2 would have to be the street fight with Proud and Powerful and Best Friends.
Yes.
That's my it was icing on the cake. I don't care if it was recent. It was just beautiful. And I just loved every minute of it. It's it was just phenomenal. The ending, Mom made it even better at the ending. So that's why that had to be number 2. My number 1 would have been the Inner Circle match with Sammy Guevara getting chased down by Matt Hardy.
With the golf cart.
However, after last night, seeing AEW in that what's the match? The dog collar match?
Oh my god, yes.
It was a showing, like, it was over. It was over. Like, throw it away, take it all, take me as I am. I've seen it all. That's my number 1. I don't care if it was a few hours ago.
I love it. I love all you guys' picks. All your guys' pick is right on. Everything's a little bit different. I love it.
Can I just give an honorable mention?
Go ahead.
The state of 2020, we deserve better from MJF.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yes,
my god. Promo of the fucking year.
Yes.
That promo was definitely amazing by MJF. I will give an honorable mention as well before I give my top three. Hangman Page deserves some praise, and he's the one moment that I remember the most that I was just like, he's a star, was when he was feuding with the Young Bucks, and he had to help them from an attack from I think it was Butcher and Blade and the Lucha Bros, and he told Matt Jackson to hold his beer. Hold his beer and beat everybody's ass, and then took
his beer back.
That deserves an honorable mention within itself. Coming in at number 3, I will go back to the first ever Dynamite episode. I was there in Washington, D.C., and the formation of the Inner Circle. That was the big moment that came out of that. And in retro, I know when I first saw it, I was kind of off-putting. We didn't know how we felt about Jake Hager, Jack Swagger, but it turned out beautifully. And what they've given us over the past year, which brings me to my number 2, which is the entire build-up to Cody versus Jericho. Between the Cody promo, putting the if he's gonna get a title shot ever again on the line, the contract signing with Jericho wearing the pumpkin suit, them attacking Dustin's arm, the promo where Cody said he was gonna break the imaginable barrier that he can't go up there to the glass, and breaking the glass, and then Jericho saying I had a ticket. Just great stuff from top to bottom, but most of all, the Jericho Inner Circle promo package, the vignette where with Soul Train Jones, one of the greatest comedy vignettes in wrestling television history. I will put it right up there. And coming in at number 1 is the March 18th AEW Dynamite. That was the first Dynamite after the pandemic. It started with the Elite, with the great promo, kind of putting everything into a capsule, talking about the state of the United States and how it kind of mirrored what was going on with the Elite in turmoil with Hangman Page, whether he was a part of the group or not, whether they were going to do the blood and guts match against the Inner Circle. Then we had in the middle of the show Brody Lee debuting as the Exalted One, which completely turned around the Dark Order, which was one of the one negatives about AEW, that they completely flipped on its head. And then the final image of broken Matt Hardy debuting on that episode, March 18th, AEW Dynamite, against all the odds. That was one of the most memorable episodes of the entire first year of AEW Dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
So that is our top 3 collective moments of AEW Dynamite's first year. You guys watching at home, put down in the comment section below what you guys thought are your top 3 moments of AEW's first year. But that wraps up another edition of Tru Heel Heat, Tru Heel Heat 95. A plug for our lineup on our YouTube channel. We have continued coverage of the G1 Climax 30 on J News Japan. Nights 9 and 10 are up on the channel right now, as well as 11 and 12 reviews. We have our TakeOver 31 roundtable review with our good brother Top Guy JJ along with the crew. That's up on the channel right now. I joined the Stat King over on a special of Dark Power reviewing Impact Wrestling Victory Road 2020. We also had an all-new True Rewind featuring the HBK Tell Me a Lie music video, as well as Medusa throwing the WWF Women's title in the trash on 1 week of the Monday Night War. So check that out. An all-new Dark Power Wednesday Night Warriors and AE recap will be up on the channel this weekend, and we have a new True Rewind for the Go Home Show 2 Starcade of 95. That's going to be up on the channel next week. Stephanie Chase, thank you so much for joining us on this episode. Appreciate you coming on.
Yes, amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun.
And just quick plug on that True Rewind. I swear to God, if you don't watch anything else on that True Rewind episode, watching SP reincarnate that promo of Goldust is a thing of motherfucking beauty.
I literally cried. I literally cried in the middle of that.
I was dying when I watched that shit. I was like, thank you for watching that garbage, but it produced that. I was like,
We produce magic on True Rewind. Steph, we would definitely want to invite you back on to the podcast. I would love for you to come on our G1 Climax Finals roundtable that we're going to do when everything ends as well. But tell the people at home where they can find you online, social media, and everything that you're doing.
You can find me on Twitter at Stephanie M. Chase. That's the same on Instagram, and on YouTube at Stephanie Chase Wrestling.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on. You were great. You were awesome.
Thanks, guys.
You made me switch up my top 3 as well because you stole a lot of my moments. I will say that. You had good ones. You picked good ones.
Yep.
So you could follow us on social media, the Tru Heels group page, Tru Heels, Tru Heel Heat. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Miss Krssi Love, where can they find you online?
I am the sensation Miss Krssi Love. You can follow me on IG and Twitter at Miss Krssi Love _ Krssi Love. Or you can just follow me via Facebook, just Crystal Lynch.
Awesome. Top Guy JJ.
all right, and Instagram, you can find me at Tru Heel _ Top Guy JJ. Facebook, you can simply find me at Justin Johnson. And yes, Stephanie, it has been an absolute blast having you on here.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love having the ladies on the show with the knowledge of wrestling. It is such a sight to see and sight to hear. And I know there's a breath of fresh air for Krssi Love because, you know, she carries us a lot, you know, so you know, she's got some assistance. So it's probably great for her to finally get some support, you know.
Me too, to have another woman to talk wrestling about as well, because I never have that either. So
Right?
That's why we got to have you back on for sure. So you can follow our partners, Wrestling Travel, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Our sponsor partners, Warrior Wrestling, Battle Club Pro, as well as Mission Pro Wrestling, Thunder Rosa's promotion that we are now sponsors for, on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Uncanny Attractions on Twitter and Instagram. Follow Stephanie Chase, subscribe to her YouTube channel for all her great content, as well as our other special guest of this episode, Alex McCarthy. Follow him also on Inside the Ropes in Talk Sports. If you're in the UK, listen to the radio show on Mondays from 7 to 9 p.m. Of course, you got the Jimmy Macaram YouTube channel where we're reviewing TV shows like Ozark and Umbrella Academy.
Okay.
Of course, there's Krssi Love's favorite YouTube channel, My Battery is Dying, and you can listen to Tru Heel Heat on iTunes, SoundCloud, Spotify, wherever you listen to your favorite audio podcasts. So until Tru Heel Heat 96, for our very special guest, Alex McCarthy, as well as the beautiful, the lovely Stephanie Chase, thank you once again for joining us.
Woo, thank you, Stephanie.
guys,
For Miss Krssi Love,
Later.
for Top Guy JJ. Of course, you guys know to like this video, share this with all your wrestling fans, subscribe, and push the bell to stay notified for all the great content. For Tru Heel Heat 95, it is me, your Tru Heel Phenom SB3. We are signing off until next time.